What's up, YouTube? Dan the Brawling Man here, swinging hard with a frenzy to platinum this annoying brawler based on comics, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, the game. I loved the movie when I was a kid in middle school, thinking the tropes were funny and unique, and the sense of making real life into a video game. Though I still can't tell the difference between Scott's actor and Columbus's actor from Zombieland. I also vaguely remember people saying this game was fun back in the day as a unique beat-em-up brawler. So let's see how this game holds up now and how fun the platinum was or wasn't. Okay, so let's break this down. The re-release here has a total of 7 playable characters, with the main cast of Scott, Kim, Stills, and Ramona, with the additional DLC characters of Knives and Wallace, along with Nega Scott as a secret character, who unlocks once Scott, Kim, Stills, and Ramona have beaten the story. There are only 19 things to do that net trophies, and you better have a friend, as finding a match online is basically impossible nowadays. The game really only has 7 levels, one for every X of Ramona's. There's basically no story here, save for a funny ending with each character. The Platinum will also require 6 full playthroughs, but 3 of these are pretty uneventful. See, Kim, Stills, and Ramona don't have any trophies tied to them specifically, only ones being tied to Scott, Wallace, Knives, and partially Nega Scott. Basically, because the game is so short and the levels don't change, they tried to put as much padding into the game as possible. This also ties directly into the gameplay, where in addition to locking most of your basic moves and attacks behind level ups, the game also gives you 4 additional stats. However, leveling up doesn't increase these other stats. They instead must be increased by buying food and other items from vendors in each level. Every level has one shop, save for level 1 that has like 20 of them all bunched together. You get money by beating enemies, but it's kinda annoying as the enemies all take a while to explode into money, and the coins love to go out of bounds or fall down pits. Because your health only recharges from either a level up or by purchasing items, money is really important, and you will waste a lot of time waiting for the enemies to drop it. And yeah, that's another thing. Your health and special gauge don't refill between levels, meaning if you barely scraped by a boss, you're going to get creamed in the immediate next level. Or you have to go into a beaten level or entry point near a shop in order to heal up. Each character also has a summon and a special move, but they're mostly useless and a drain on the superior use of your special gauge, the revive feature. Yeah, if you have any special gauge and your HP hits 0, then you immediately revive by using the guts gauge, letting you keep on fighting and extending your life. And once you've cleared a level, you can re-enter its subsections and leave without needing to fight the boss again. If it wasn't for the weird stats and the fact that many enemies just block all the time, you could beat the game in one shot. But as it is in actuality you can't without grinding for money and stat increases. At least not without supreme difficulty, because even mobs can one-shot you if you don't have the defense, or the need to take down an enemy after 100 blows because your attacks only do 1 damage each. Yeah, the weird level curve makes the game more of a chore than something fun. I couldn't help thinking that the TMNT games were way more fun than this. This weird padding is probably why the game comes with cheat codes. There are a few of them, but only 2 are of any use. One lets you spend a life to get 50 money, which, if you use to get like 650 bucks, you can max out your stats in the video store, while another one lets you go through basically every level with the ultimate weapon, the Sword of Love. For my first playthrough with Scott, I didn't use these, but I did for the others because the game is just annoying. Also, the game gives you one in level 7 to fight Giga Dion, but due to him floating outside the normal attack range, and only 2 characters have a special ranged attack. But you can never take the sword into the final and hardest section of the game, or to fight the final boss. The game is just weird. Like, level 5 is annoying due to the enemies, the weird stairs to climb, and the annoying robot, but the bosses are pitifully easy. Like, I don't even know what the twins can do, because they usually died before the intro splash guard played, or immediately afterwards. But then level 1 is one of the longest levels and has a really annoying boss fight, while level 7 is just a slog with 3 fights and the forced drop of any weapon after Giga Dion. You can't even bring one in through level select. There's also a secret boss that shows up randomly that you must beat for a different trophy, but beating him does basically nothing. As for the trophies, there's 19 actions to do. The easiest one is Dirty Trick, for KOing an enemy when they're down by throwing an item. Then, when you have some money, you can buy all 5 of a shop's items in one visit. Then I beat the first boss without losing a life, and then took out the twins at the same time, which was really easy. Invulnerable was tricky to get. The guide says halfway through level 3 works, but I found it a bit easier to do in the back half of level 2. There's KO 200 enemies with items, and another for KOing 1,000 enemies total. Then I finally beat the game with Scott after maxing some stats, and had to hunt down the last few meals I was missing to get gourmet. I used stills and the cheats to beat the game on Supreme Master for another. Oh yeah, the difficulty only increases enemy HP levels and maybe damage received, not much else. Enemy spawns are actually dependent on the number of players. Then, once I did 4 full playthroughs and had beaten the secret boss with Scott and spammed the summons, I could finally use Nega Scott for the final summon and nothing else for the supposedly glitched trophy, Chow Down. Then I beat the game as Wallace, where I found out he's basically just a palette swap of stills, which was really lame. And also had a glitch where somehow I jumped out of bounds, which was more annoying than cool. Then I had to speed run the game as Knives, beating it in under 90 minutes. After this, Knives has 2 more trophies, one for bouncing 10 times consecutively with the stomp move, an annoyance only really done in the zombie mode after 100 KOs to have a big enough swarm, and another for catching 25 items with her. After that was 4 multiplayer trophies, multiplayer only trophies, so I had to grind them out with my brother. One for simply clearing a level, one for playing online with all the characters, that specifically mentions using Wallace too, but this popped before I had used knives, so maybe she's not included, but Wallace was? KOing 200 enemies online, and finally reviving another player 25 times. Once that was done, after a couple of crashes too, it was finally over. Yeah, the game crashed on me on the PS5, but only when defeating the boss of level 3. I guess cause his death sequence puts out more crap and the overlay craps out, which is a shame as he's the best to fight to get free extra lives. So, the game feels slow, has bad leveling mechanics, only has 7 levels, of which levels 2, 3, and 6 are too short, but levels 1, 5, and 7 are too long. The bosses are unbalanced and feel like they're fought out of order. The game is unstable and will crash, and just all around isn't a good game. I guess the original delisting panic made people claim this one was a hidden gem for cheap, but the game feels like typical Canadian slop. The platinum was a chore due to so few things to do, but all of them save a couple being very time consuming. The cheat codes are a must to maintain sanity, and I didn't enjoy more than the first few hours. The platinum is like a 3 out of 10 due to some tricks needed to actually net the platinum, and the requirement of a friend to play for like an hour or so to nail the final few. As for the patented Dan the Ranking Man rating, the game gets a 25 out of 100. The slog, curve, and grind make normal play a hassle, but the cheats make life almost too easy, and there's no decent middle ground. So, like, subscribe, hype the video, comment down below which character you liked playing as the best. I liked Knives the best, and remember, all Canadians are inherently losers.